a cheerleader from Silsbee High School who was allegedly raped by a football player at her high school. She went to she went to a party, and during the party, she claims that she was dragged into a room by several guys, and this football player, his name is Rakeem Bolton, allegedly raped her, okay? Well, it turns out that they arrested this football player for 2 days. After that, they released him. He was never indicted. He was left scot-free, right? He didn't face any consequences for what he allegedly did. And during one football game, this cheerleader refused to cheer for him. And after she refused to cheer for him, she was kicked out of the cheerleading squad. Done. So she ended up suing the school district because of this. And the outcome of this story is unbelievable. Okay, the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit actually told her that she brought a frivolous lawsuit and that she needs to pay the district's legal costs because of the lawsuit. I mean, how does this even happen?
Well, Anna, there's a lot of issues here in this story, right? And it's an amazing story. First of all, I think that the court is the least guilty. I know that sounds like a little bit of a controversial thing to say, but they're deciding not on whether she was raped or not on many other grounds, or whether what the school did was a decent thing to do, because I think a lot of people would think that it was incredibly indecent. They were deciding on the narrow ground of, can a school violate your freedom of speech by telling you that you cannot do a certain cheer, or requiring that you do a certain cheer. And, I know a lot of people are upset with the guys that are on this court. The judges, I should say, are very, very conservative. Among the top conservative judges in the country, Emilio Garza, Edith Clement, and Priscilla Owen. Two of these, Garza and Clement, were on George Bush's shortlist for the Supreme Court.
Right.
So if you don't agree with their decision, that was going to be the Supreme Court. But I think that you can make a case for saying that the school can say, hey, if you don't do a certain cheer, they do have the right to kick you off, right? That is not within your freedom of speech rights to refuse to do cheers if you're a cheerleader. But I think the people that are the most guilty here, other than the person who actually, of course, committed the rape, if it's true, right, is the school. I mean, my God, how insanely insensitive can you be?
No, that's what I was going to say. Look, Cenk, you make a great point about the Supreme Court and what they have to rule on. But look, putting all this legal stuff aside, you have to have some compassion for someone who is alleging that she was raped by a football player. I mean, there's zero compassion. If she doesn't want to participate in one particular cheer because in the cheer they have to say the name of the football player who allegedly raped her, then let it pass, let it go. Let her sit down and let her not do that cheer. But instead, they make a big deal about it. They kick her off the cheerleading team. And, it causes this huge issue to begin with.
Yeah, no, look, from our perspective, it's really hard to impossible to tell what happened that day. I mean, your gut and logic tells you that she probably wouldn't make as much of a big deal out of this, if it didn't happen. But you can't judge cases that way, and you'd have to hear the evidence, and you need to be fair to that guy too. And he was not convicted of rape. They went all the way down to assault charges. So I understand all that, but even if you thought it was just assault charges, I mean, even if you didn't believe her, my God, man, the school, someone who obviously thinks they were raped, you're going to force her to literally say the name of the guy who she thinks raped her in the cheer, and if she doesn't, you remove her from the team. I mean, the number of administrators that were involved here on the spot to remove her from that particular game and then to throw her off the team, it's insanity. I can't believe anybody could be that cold-hearted.
I know. It's unbelievable. It's so insensitive. And, when I read this story, I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, first of all, no way. There's no way she got kicked out of the cheerleading team. And then it goes the extra mile. There's no way that the Supreme Court, not the Supreme Court, I'm sorry, the Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, there's no way that they're going to make this student now pay the, legal costs for the district. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. It's insanely insensitive.
On that point, you make a very good point, Anna. Just look, no matter what you think about how the Fifth Circuit here should have ruled, again, it goes, and I know hard cases make bad law. They tell you that in law school, and there's a reason why. So you don't want to rule the wrong way based on your emotions here, et cetera. And I think you can make a decent case for both sides, right? Mm-hmm. But no matter how you feel about the outcome of the case, don't make her pay the cost to the school as well. I mean, there's no reason why you have to do that. That doesn't have to be part of your decision. That's just rubbing it in on a woman who, I don't want to prejudge the guy, but at the same time, who probably got raped. Jesus. I mean, even if there's only a 5% chance she got raped, mm-hmm. How cold and unbelievably cruel can you guys be?